So good morning, everyone. My name is Jenny Parisi. I am the manager of Community Living Oakville's Explore Employment, and I'm very happy to be here today to introduce one of our business partners who has become such a strong advocate for hiring people within the diversity talent pool. I would like to welcome Linda Ivory from Halton Health Care. Linda started out at Halton Health Care in 2005 as an HR advisor and is currently an organizational development consultant specializing in diversity, equity, and inclusion. She is also the business liaison for Project Search at the hospital, which is a workplace immersion program for students with disabilities with the goal of competitive employment for every program graduate. Linda believes in the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion for all, and is focused on bringing equitable opportunities to those that are often overlooked. As the lead on the diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy at Halton Health Care, she is passionate about ensuring an inclusive, accessible, and safe workplace. Linda is also an active member of various community organizations such as Community Living Oakville and Employment Halton, with a focus on employment and accessibility in order to assist those in our community with disabilities. So thank you, Linda, for joining us, and I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Jenny. All those kind words. I love this. Okay, so I'm just going to share my presentation. Bear with me. Okay, good morning, everyone. As Jenny stated, my name is Linda Ivory. I am the OD consultant here at Halton Health Care. I am the business liaison as well for a program called Project Search, and I'm delighted and thankful to be here today to speak on this topic that's not only dear to me, but it's also dear to many others as well. So first I wanted to cover a little bit about Halton Health Care. Understanding the diversity and disability talent pool and the value of partnerships, and we're going to cover as well as the benefits and lessons learned. So Halton Health Care is a healthcare organization comprised of 3 community hospitals and numerous community-based services in the communities of Halton Hills, Milton, and Oakville. We have over 5,000 staff and serving a population of about 610,000 residents. I also believe that it's important to share our mission, vision, and values in respect to this topic. Our mission is to provide a compassionate, quality community hospital care as part of an integrated system. Our vision is to transform the community hospital experience into exemplary patient experiences always. And more importantly, our values is compassion, accountability, and respect. And I really draw attention to respect when it comes to understanding the diversity of the disability talent pool. So first I want to tell you a true story. Growing up, I have my best friend is hearing impaired. We grew up together from diapers right up on today. We developed our own sign language to communicate. I didn't learn actually official American Sign Language till I was in my teens. I knew of her struggles and the stereotypes that went on because I hung around with her. Nobody else knew that I wasn't hearing impaired as well. So I could hear everything that they're saying, and I would, a lot of times I had to pick up for her. But in relation to employment, it wasn't until my teens that I really realized the how impactful that will be for her finding a job. So I got a position at a pharmacy, and after a few months, I asked my employer if there would be an opportunity for her. The response was yes, we would give her a position, but on nights, on a night shift, where there were no customers around, and she'd be working with one other person. And the other condition was I would have to do night shifts along with her to train her and orientate her into her position. So further, after the orientation, I did that. I did the two weeks of nights. A little while after, she was working and her coworker phoned in sick. So she was in the building by herself for the whole shift. Second time an incident occurred was somebody threw a rock through the front window and was going to rob the store. This all happened while she was downstairs stocking shelves and wasn't made aware until she came up, which really shook her up a bit. She was like, what if she was there alone again, and wouldn't know what to do. So she later quit the position because she didn't feel safe. She didn't feel inclusive. Even though she can do the job, it just wasn't a supportive environment for her. So I'd like to ask, and you can write it in the chat, what was your initial reaction to this story? What elements, like any positive or negative, were apparent here? So Jenny, I understand you're manning the chat box.
I am, though I'm trying to get Adrienne to make me co-host. For some reason it didn't work. Or actually, Linda, can you make me co-host? Because then I can let people in. If you go to participants and click on my name, you can make me co-host. That way I can man it. In the meantime, if people want to put things in the chat.
Because I think I had.
It's okay if you can't, no worries. I know for me, I don't know how everyone else is feeling. I know, Linda, you told me the story. It's crazy to believe that they would put that on your friend. However, oh, there we go. However, it goes to show how you became so involved and such a passionate advocate for us. So for us.
Yeah, if anybody else wants to speak to it, go ahead. You don't have to. I don't think we have a lot on, so you can raise your hand. And
JC said it might not be a good fit.
I think it's this is Stephanie Stewart. Oh, sorry, I just put my video on. I think
Stephanie.
It's hi. It's really unfair. I mean, it's a bad way of setting up a position for anyone, you know. So it doesn't set them up to be successful. I don't think it would set anybody up to be successful.
Right.
So it's really, you know, it's sort of making this decision that, well, it's a biased sort of decision, right? And that is not based in any sort of reality. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this was quite some time ago. This was, date myself, but a good 25, 30 years ago.
I just had a question too. With the respect of, was it your responsibility too to train employees, or it was just because it was your friend? And
Exactly.
Yeah. That when I heard that, I thought, wait a minute here. Like, unless you're the typical trainer.
No, I just started, but because I knew sign language and I communicate with her well, it was assumed that if she wants a job, I would step in. Right.
Right.
Okay, so just have a think about that story, and at the end of my presentation, we'll just come back to it. So for diversity, equity, inclusion here at Halton Health Care, I feel, not just for Halton Health Care, to ensure they are treated fairly and respectfully and feel they can be themselves and feel safe. How we started to understand the diversity of the disability talent pool, honestly, for us, it was through our employment partnerships. Over the years, we've hired people with disabilities for sure, but the numbers were low. You know, I can't sugarcoat it, they were low. And it wasn't until we collaborated with our partnerships that we realized how we could learn from them and our community and help. So our journey, like many other organizations, we didn't have much in place when it came to DEI besides regulatory requirements. We started communications around a program called Project Search, which I will get into more detail in a bit. But this was really truly the beginning of our journey around in the disability talent pool. For us, our goal is to live our values and to be compassionate and accountable and respectful. And our strategy, we recognized that DEI was imperative, and we are now on our way this year in rolling out our DEI strategy, which is so exciting to me. We are formulating our committees. We're looking into things. The committees will, produce important work around awareness and education and our learning strategy and surveys. So it's all a big plan coming out. So we also, as an organization, needed to rethink what we're doing. So companies seek competitive edge by hiring talented people, yet capable workers are overlooked because they have a disability. So according to Halton Region, their accessibility plan, 1 of 7 Ontarios have a disability will have a disability by 2036. And by 2036, it's expected that that number is going to rise to 1 in 5. Sorry. So there's a lot of stereotypes out there. Companies are missing out on employees able to make valuable contribution because of certain myths and stereotypes and so forth. People with disabilities, I'm just going to cover a couple of the myths that I have found, but there's so many out there. I was very surprised. People with disabilities need to be placed in jobs where they will not fail. Fact is, everybody has a right to fail, and as well as a right to succeed. So be careful not to hold someone back from a position or promotion because you think that there's a possibility that they might fail. Give the opportunity. Another I found was people with disabilities, they're not reliable. Well, another fact is individuals with disabilities tend to remain on the job and to maintain better levels of attendance. And as an employer, I can honestly state that of the employees we've hired, their attendance has been impeccable. I have one manager who's so supportive of hiring people with disabilities. She said, like, there's one that she hired, I would hire 100 more just because of the performance and attendance and so forth. So that's a myth. Another one is people with disabilities always need assistance. This is not the case. With proper training, like anybody else, people with disabilities will adjust to their disability, and it does not affect their ability to work independently. Another popular one is it's too expensive to hire somebody with a disability. With proper planning and knowledge, most job accommodations are simple and inexpensive. We did hire a person with autism, and he was struggling with the position of a cart. And we asked him what we could do, and he advised that if we can put some tape on the floor, it's just a colored tape, then he'd be able to do his position a whole lot better. So it didn't cost us anything but a strip of tape to go on the floor. So that's untrue. I can't fire or discipline an employee with a disability. There are laws obviously in place to protect the rights of people with disabilities, but there are no special procedures for firing or disciplining people with disabilities. They're treated as every other employee. You establish a clear clear performance expectations from the start, and you move forward just like any other employee. Unions won't like it. So I've been in a union environment now for about 17 years, and I've yet to have pushback from a union around hiring people with disabilities. My experience is that they've been supportive, they've advocated, they don't, there's no job loss in respect to like offering internships and so forth. They're actually gaining membership. So, you know, employers and unions, they have a joint responsibility to work together to ensure that the policies are adhered to. We have a duty to accommodate, and our unions are typically supportive as long as you know, everybody has to communicate. You have to advise what, you know, what positions and so forth, but it's another myth that's just not the case. So our other plan is to rethink our current practices around hiring. We look at like the review of applications, you know, don't automatically excuse somebody because you see that something indicates in their resume that they have a disability. When scheduling your job interviews, ask applicants if they have any accommodation needs and how we can meet them. When conducting the interviews, ensure you ask the same questions to all, but you listen, you give them a little extra time to answer the questions if it's disclosed. Sometimes they don't, people with disabilities don't have to disclose that they have one. They could be a visual disability, or it could be non-visual. So as long as you're looking at the essential duties of the job when you're evaluating and they distribute that, then you're fine. When hiring, so hiring isn't an act of charity. We have to focus our attention to finding the best person for the job, and that includes everybody. You include everybody in the mix, and not exclusion. You know, you don't exclude. The orientation, you provide comfortable and supportive orientation. Be inclusive. And for retention, we are trying to provide workplace training that is linked to employee satisfaction and increases the employee attention. We need to ensure our employees are safe, and we continuously provide training and validate a worker's understanding at the end. And as I also said, communication is key when to the staff as well, and to the potential employee. And even when they're hired, it's very important to keep communicating, making them feel comfortable. I found a resource online. You can write this down, or I can share it later. It's a federal government site. It is a wonderful toolkit for employers, and I recommend anybody to go in. It lays out in stages of right through reviewing to interviewing, hiring. So our partnerships. So despite rolling out our strategy this year, we've already developed and continue to build great partnerships in relation to diversifying our workforce. I can't stress enough the value of these partnerships. Each one that we have developed has brought extreme benefits and learning for our organization. I will review some of them that we have. There we go. So Jenny and I've also alluded to a program called Project Search. And this is a program that we became a part of in 2018. So students in their final year of high school with the Halton District School Board CPP program go through a application process to qualify for the program. And the goal is they come on site to a host employer, which is we are a host employer here at the Oakville Hospital. And they go into internships throughout their day, and they also go to a classroom. So in their final year, they will come to the host site instead of going to their regular school. And the whole goal is for them to obtain employable skills throughout these internships. So the school board actually sends a teacher to the hospital full-time They hold their class sessions. And then the CLO also supplies 2 job trainers that are just amazing with the interns. And they also learn the internship with the intern, so they can be the intern can be successful. The whole goal is to learn employable skills in order to get a job after the program. Although the host site doesn't guarantee a position at the end, we do try our best to, have them apply to positions here at the hospital. So I'm just going to show you a quick video, and I apologize, I'm going to have to share it. It's not embedded, so bear with me as I go through this process.
And in the meantime, if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And if we don't get time to answer them today, I'll record them, and then between Linda and I will reach out to whoever asked the question and give the answer.
Okay, can you see that?
Yeah. We just can't hear it, Linda. We still can't hear it. You might need to share your computer sound at the top.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's the exciting thing about doing things virtually. Right? And then just to check on time, it's 5 to 11.
Okay, I'm just going to bring you back to my apologies.
While we're waiting, does anyone have any questions? Is like everyone familiar with Project Search? Or does anyone have any questions about it?
Can you see it now?
No, we just see your notes. You might have to do a new share.
I was just wondering if the Project Search program, if it's been introduced to the different type, like to the other hospitals in Ontario, because we have a few down here as well. And I was just wondering if there was any collaboration of saying, hey, look what we've done. More communication between the hospitals.
So Project Search is actually an American program. So you have to purchase the license for Project Search and then find the whole site. Darlene, if you put your email in the chat, I can send you more information on it.
Developmental disability.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Hospital.
Can you hear it
There's
now?
a school to work opportunity for students with developmental disability.
We've been speaking about what this program is really what I feel like all my experience has come together and culminated in Project Search. In the last couple days,
Project Search is designed to bring employability skills to young adults with special needs.
remember our please and thank yous?
To teach them how to get out and become independent in the workplace and live full, thriving lives.
This 9-month internship pairs a job site with a teacher and 12 students 18 to 21 in their final year of the Halton District School Board's Community Pathways program, along with 2 skills trainers from Community Living Oakville.
So 1 pillowcase, 1 blanket for each chair.
We actually have over 20 internships available to our interns at the hospitals. We spend a lot of time initially getting to know our interns so that we can appropriately match them to their needs.
How much do you like your internship?
A lot. I don't have to worry about the pressure, just like I had with my school.
It actually learns me new skills and also gets me to learn what it feels like to be in a workplace.
Hunter is down in medical device reprocessing, and what Hunter does is he will receive a list of a surgery that's coming up in the near future and select and choose all the instruments that will be used in that surgery.
The positions that are presented to the interns are so important. They're meaningful, and I think they feel that.
We set very high expectations for our interns, and they rise to those expectations.
There's a lot of us who are very passionate. I happen to have a daughter with special needs who would really benefit from a program like this.
And the jobs that they're doing here at the hospital, they're real jobs. They now see that they have purpose, which I think will take them into the future.
Project Search launched last fall. The goal now is to find additional job site partners like Oakville Hospital so that more students have the opportunities to learn in this experience and to set them up for the future. If you'd like to learn more tonight, you can visit globalnews.ca.
I love the part about setting high expectations, and the students, they rise to them.
And you know, if they're taught something, they're going to do it. And so the teacher said they're not just and legacies, and these organizations, this is so needed because there's so much that they can do.
And that's the way to see it, right?
Did it stop sharing?
It did now, yeah. So just to keep you on track, Linda, we have 15 minutes.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. What?
Hope you're ready to lose, Murphy.
Annie,
There we go.
Annie, if you hit me with that shit.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you see the PowerPoint now?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, so another important partnership we have is with Explore Employment, or Community Living Oakville, which initially that's who we started our journey with. Our partnership is twofold. We have Project Search, which CLO is part of our steering committee, and they also work diligently all year round to fund 2 of the job skills trainers for the Project Search program. We also communicate with CLO in respect to other clients that they have with disabilities. And this partnership, I have to say, we wouldn't be successful if we didn't have the passion and goal to help our community and help those that need it. What would happen, like if it was an external person outside of the Project Search program, their job coaches would identify someone to me, and then I would review and make sure they meet the qualifications. And then I would send off to our hiring manager or HR advisor for review. What I like about the partnership for either Project Search or for external clients is CLO will have a job coach assigned, and they will either come with them to a job interview, and if they're comfortable, so it's very individualized, it's whatever the client is comfortable with. If they're hired, a job coach will also come on site. We give them permissions and so forth, and they will stay with that client for as long as they feel comfortable. So we have them here for 2 to 3 weeks with one person, or they could be longer, or it could be faster. Some of our new hires have started and we're fully orientated into their area within a week. So it's quite amazing that service is it's so beneficial to the clients and even to us as an employer. We've hired probably around 11 clients so far in various positions throughout the hospital. From last year's Project Search graduates, we hired 6, I do believe, and then from external clients outside of the program, we've hired about 5, and it's still growing, because I believe we're looking at a couple now for the next couple of months as well. They're in positions like helpers in our food services department, our housekeeping department. We've also had a position due to COVID called a pandemic assistant position that helps out our patients or that walk-ins that come in for wayfinding, or helps assist them in what they have to do in their appointments. So we've hired like 3 or 4 into those roles as well. Like I said earlier, the one thing I've observed in this partnership, and Jenny can allude to this, is that we have a lot of goal and passion for this partnership. And you know, I have to share a video because we thought it was so special that we did a video on our partnership, basically. Yeah. Can you hear that?
Community Living Oakville is an organization that supports people with developmental disabilities in participating in all aspects of community life. Explore Employment focuses on supporting people to achieve their employment goals. Community Living Oakville and Halton Health Care have been in partnership for a few years now. So the growth in the candidates who have come through Halton Health Care has been incredible. We have people who started off in a pandemic position, just working part-time, and now we have people who are in a part-time unionized position working in the field of their choice.
The partnership with Community Living and Halton Health Care came about in 2018 from the start of a program called Project Search. Project Search is offered to students with disabilities in their final year of high school, whereby they come on site to an employer and they learn employable skills with the goal of finding employment. Secondly, we also work with CLO and their clients with disabilities on finding gainful employment outside of the Project Search program.
Well, Community Living Oakville, it's a big help for me because it helps me with like what type of job I'm looking for. It helps me notice like, oh, I would actually like that. Like they help explain what type of job it would be in the hospital. It's just amazing. I love it here.
To date, we have hired 5 clients, and this is why this partnership is so successful.
We are very fortunate to have such supporters in Halton Health Care. Halton Health Care has proven to be not only a supporter of hiring people with developmental disabilities, but also a true advocate and leader in hiring people into the workforce.
The partnership has been so impactful in so many ways towards our culture, our workforce, and many families within our communities.
Okay. So we do have other partnerships. Due to essence of time, I'm not going to go through all of them, but another strong one we have is with obviously our Halton District School Board. For the Project Search program, we have a great partnership with them as well. They provide the teacher and any supplies for the classroom, etc. They help with the administration and communications out to the families, and we have a great collaboration around our marketing for the program. We also have other partnerships that I'll just mention quickly. Our unions and Halton Region Employment Services. They have, a variety of different clients in different, from disabilities to, newcomers to Canada, et cetera. Another one I would also recommend if you're really looking into diversifying your organization is the CCDI, which is the Canadian Centre for Diversity and Inclusion. They have been phenomenal. And especially if you are looking to become an employer partner with them, then there's also benefits. They've been extremely helpful in assisting me on my journey here at Halton Health Care. So the benefits that I will quickly mention that we found as an employer is financial savings, reduction of employee turnover, sick time, Our culture has changed. We're more inclusive. It's going to take some more time, but we have seen differences. And, Project Search has not only been rewarding to our interns, but to our organization as a whole. It's made such a positive impact on everything from our performance as an organization. Although our DEI strategy is new, we have a lot to learn, and I believe we're on the right path to making our culture more inclusive. I've witnessed amazing transformations within our staff, from being hesitant and nervous to work alongside with somebody with a disability. But now, due to the internships and the more hiring we're doing, I'm seeing the staff inviting them to different staff parties, and they're eating lunch together. I've seeing the performance, the accuracy, the attention to detail has increased. There's such a positive attitude. We also, we have a better reputation being an inclusive organization. I'm seeing higher numbers in applications. So the word, is getting out, which we love to see. We're seeing a higher employee engagement, long-term employees also willing to learn and expand their scope of responsibilities. They're asking for more work, and the dedication, it goes, above and beyond. We've also seen an increase in creativity and innovation, and this will bring me to a new initiative that we've installed this year. Every year, Halton Health Care launches an innovation grant to the staff, physicians, and volunteers, and in line with our strategic innovation imperatives. And last year, I joined a health equity committee, and the topic of accessibility came up, and it resonated with me because my colleague is actually partially sighted, and I wondered, how does he know where the bathrooms are? Because there's signs on the walls, but unless you know where the walls are to read the braille, you wouldn't know where the washrooms are. So I had a conversation with him, and he mentioned this app called Blind Square, which was truly amazing. It's a GPS smartphone app that they install, and some businesses around Ontario have already installed it, like I believe the TTC, and there's another few. So we looked into it, and we applied for the innovation grant, and we got it. So it's a program designed for the blind and partially sighted in our community, and to navigate more easily through our hospital, but more importantly, they can navigate independently, so they don't have to rely on people. So I'm just going to show you a quick video on this.
Blind Square demonstration at the Oakville Trafalgar Memorial Hospital. The CNIB yellow background with the CNIB logo. The Blind Square logo and the Halton Health Care logo are above. This is a demonstration of the Blind Square app through the hospital. A man holding an iPhone showing his screen.
To use Blind Square, go to the Apple App Store and download Blind Square Event. When you approach the hospital, make sure that your Bluetooth is turned on and that you have Blind Square open. As you walk throughout the hospital, Blind Square will describe what's around you, provide auditory wayfinding information to help you navigate our hospital.
A man with sight loss exiting the elevator.
2, center elevators. Surgical services, down hall, on left, north elevators, ahead.
The man turns left. The man stops walking.
Surgical services, on left, at end of hall.
The man continues walking and turns left down the hall.
So that's just amazing. We're going to be launching it, I believe, in the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be up and running. So they've already did the installation. It's just now getting, everything to press the start button, I guess. Okay, so just a couple of things for employees that we've benefits. I know I'm running out of time. Our employees, it's amazing. They've gained independence. They're building confidence. They're learning employable and transferable skills. Their socialization has increased. and they have a promising future. Those interns from Project Search, oh my God, the parents come to me and they're crying. They otherwise their child would have been in the basement playing video games, and now they're coming to work and eager to go to work. Before they used to sleep in and never get up out of the bed. So now they're coming to work, they're eager, they're learning, and you know, some of them are even going getting a college, doing a college program so they can come back to the hospital and do something a little bit more. It's truly, truly like, I don't get me going, I'm gonna cry. Quickly, we've learned quite a bit throughout this journey, and we are still learning that disability impacts everybody. I don't think there's probably anybody on this call right now that doesn't know or somebody with a disability or has an impactful experience that they can share. I'd ask this question, but I'm like I said, I'm running out of time. We've learned, you know, around awareness. You know, at first you offer assistance. Always ask before assisting someone. For example, always listen. Reference to the person first. And when you're talking to them, look at them directly to that person. Especially if someone's hearing impaired, look at the person, not the interpreter, for example. Treat adults as adults. Treat all the employees as the same as any other employee. Relax. They don't, you know, people with disabilities don't bite. You know, I've been joking around with, like I said, my coworker is, you know, partially sighted. And one day I was like, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I looked around and just went, oh, why did I say that? You know, but he just laughed and went on. So it's not a big deal. And never assume that just because someone has a cognitive impairment, such as a learning disability, that they are below average intelligence and can't do the job. Never assume. In other aspects, you know, you just never assume. Just always ask.
Sorry, Linda, I don't mean to cut you short. Just
I know
we have other speakers doing. I'm sorry, but I do want to thank you, Linda, for being such a supportive and champion employer. I'm hoping everyone learned a lot, and hopefully you can reach out to your local hospitals and healthcare. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything. And just
or myself.
Or Linda, yes, definitely Linda. Like I said, she's been a strong supporter. And just a reminder that the gamification code, if you go into the thing, is talent with all capitals. So when you go into the virtual thing, it'll be on your left-hand side, and just input that code. All right, and thank you again, Linda. Sorry.
Thank you, and I apologize for the technical stuff.
No, it was great. It was a wonderful presentation, as always.
All right, take care.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.